From Russia to the UK, Thailand to Paraguay, Vegas, New York, LA, Sashay, Shantae, you stay.
Drag is all over the world. It's a phenomenon. It will live on and on. Drag is all over the world. It's a phenomenon. It's a phenomenon.
Good evening and welcome to Drag Talk, Back to Drag, the talk show that talks about hot topics going on in the drag community. My name is Edward Michael. Thanks so much for joining us. If you would like, please do share the love, share the live so that other people can join in the conversation. If you would like to chime in tonight, just go ahead and do it in the comments, and we'll definitely feature you on the show. We got a lot to talk about. We've been gone for about 2 weeks, but we're back to talk more hot topics going on in the drag community. But right now, I like to bring in my panelists each and every week, starting off with Bianca Ray, Love Storm Prime.
Happy Monday.
Also joining us each and every week on the other side of the world, we got Mr. Mirage Cruz.
Hey, everybody. Aloha.
How's it going, gang? It's been a while.
Ooh, like it's been decades.
Months
and years. Oh, my.
Yeah.
We want to thank everybody in the comments who is joining us. Let's go ahead and get right into it because we got a lot to talk about. Let's start off with some drag news going on in the world. Let's start off with Shangela was announced as the first drag queen to appear on the show Dancing with the Stars. The announcement came on Thursday, this past Thursday, September the 8th, on Good Morning America. If you're unfamiliar, Dancing with the Stars is a televised dance competition series that pairs celebrities with professional dancers. Each couple performs predetermined dances and competes against the others for judges' points and audience votes. Shangela first appeared onto the scene on season 2 of RuPaul's Drag Race, and she was the first contestant eliminated on that season, but later returned as a surprise contestant in the series' 3rd season, placing 5th. Since Drag Race, she has appeared on numerous television series and films, including A Star is Born. She became the first drag queen to walk the Oscars red carpet at the 91st Academy Awards, and she's currently the co-host of the HBO reality series We're Here, along with Bob the Drag Queen and Eureka O'Hara. The Dancing with the Stars is going to premiere on September the 19th on Disney Plus instead of ABC. So what does the panel think of this? Anybody fans of Dancing with the Stars?
So first, let me correct something real quick.
Oh.
She's not the first drag queen to be on Dancing with the Stars. She's the first for the United States.
Oh, okay.
Actually, Courtney Act was the first drag queen in any syndication to be on Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, okay.
Because before going on to Drag Race, Courtney was also on a show in Australia, their Big Brother show. She was on Big Brother, so that helped her with being on Dancing with the Stars. So let's just want to correct that real quick. As far as Dancing with the Stars, the United States edition, this was a great opportunity, and it speaks volumes because she's now, I hope y'all don't mind I'm using the pronouns she, because I feel like any entertainer, when they are in female presenting attire, to address them as so. So I hope I don't step on nobody's toes when I announce her as she. But she's opening a lot of doors that we, first of all, didn't know were closed to us. One thing about Shangela that she was always going to say is, I am a professional. I'm going to work. And Shangela, since being on season 2, has just done that. Has dipped her toes in a lot of different ponds and opened the gate for other people to slide on through. Her being on Dancing with the Stars, I think she's going to get very far because she is a dancer, entertainer already. So I'm very much looking forward to it, and I do have a Disney Plus account, so I'm gonna be watching every week, rooting her on.
You're gonna have to keep in touch because I don't have a Disney Plus account.
Okay.
Bianca, what do you think?
I think it's awesome. If Shangela's watching, if anybody can tag Shangela, I want to say congratulations. This is a great opportunity to be on primetime television in something that she's good at, which is actually dancing, performing, and entertaining. Entertaining. Congratulations, Shangela, and good luck.
Hey, Angie.
All right.
Shangela Laquifa Watley.
Moving on, the US of A system has made some more changes. They announced new promoters just recently. This happened, let's see here. On September 3rd, right after Labor Day, US of A pageant announced 6 new promoters for their national pageant system. The statement came via their official social media accounts. They said, over the course of the year, the one thing that has consistently arisen is the need for clear communication, not only from US of A pageants, but also from others that have had or have responsibilities within the US of A pageant. Which leads us to the reason for this announcement. US of A pageant is excited to announce the addition of several new national promoters, and those promoters being for Mr. Gay US of A at large, Little Nug from Oklahoma City. He is the reigning Mr. Gay US of A at large. For the Mr. Gay US of A division, Dorian Froy from Atlanta, Georgia. Maya Ross Monroe from Atlanta, Georgia will be taking over Miss Gay US of A Classic. Terrence Hines, Bradley Jackson, Aaron Budford, and Stephen Reynolds from the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas area will be taking over Miss Gay US of A newcomer. And Kennedy Davenport from Dallas, Texas will be taking over Miss Gay US of A. The announcement also stated that the change in leadership officially happened since the death of the former CEO, Jerry Bird. Scott Burke is now the Chief Operating Officer as of September 1st and is now over US of A pageants and will lead all promoters and the company moving forward. Now, for the Mr. division, this has been the third change, I believe. The third change. Michael LeMasters was announced as the promoter, and Dakota Whitney was announced as the Mr. At-Large promoter, and now these others are now the promoters. What do you think is happening in US of A land? Anybody? I was shocked of the Miss Gay US of A newcomer one because Daryl Newman for the past decade has worked his ass off to really bring the newcomer system to what it is now. And for him to step away was really shocking and alarming to me because he's a man of integrity, somebody that I look up to, somebody who I think a lot of people respect in the US of A pageant system. So for him to walk away, it made me second guess what's going on or why are people stepping away from their roles. What do you guys think?
I would have to say, when you step away from a role, the language you use and why you step away always tends to be the flag for me. When Michael LeMasters stepped away from the title and the verbiage that he used, I'm paraphrasing, so I'm not quoting, was something along the lines that that they were going in a different route than the way he wanted it to go.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah,
and
Daryl
that
Newman as well.
and that he was not compromising his integrity for something. That makes me raise an eyebrow because I'm like, why would someone use that type of verbiage in expressing their stepping down from a position?
Hmm. Yeah, no, I agree. Bianca, any thoughts?
Um, I will say when a figurehead or the leader of the ship, when the leader of the ship tends to pass, leadership can be up in the air at times. Hopefully now, with these, I believe being the second changes to the system, now they have a more stable system at hand. From now, like now moving forward, it can be a cohesive unit where everybody's on the
Yeah,
same page. Come the 2023 pageant season. Well, actually, I take that back because US of A at large, Miss US of A at large is sometime next week or within 2 weeks, and then the Mister is in October. Mister at large is sometime in October. Um, so we'll see how these next three nationals go.
So
so
they
yeah,
kept the
Miss.
date. They kept the dates for the Mister to still be in October.
Yes, every
I could
yeah,
I
US
could
of
have
A at
Actually,
large.
no,
I
they
could have
did
swore they
not.
switched it.
Yeah, they did. So Miss at Large is going to happen the 21st to the 23rd um, of September.
Of
That's going to
September,
be
and
next week.
the Mister and the Mister at large should be sometime in October. So they switched it from October.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, I could have swore.
It's going to be in November,
See,
November the 9th and 10th for preliminary nights for Mr. Gay US of A, and final night is going to be November the 11th. As far as US of A at large, it's usually a couple nights before. They started off
right.
Monday, Tuesday with at large, and then ended with the other ones. So
So
we
Miss
do have
USA
a
at large is the same week as Unlimited. Oh, that's gonna be a chuckle.
we do have a promoter right here in Arizona who is a a promoter for Arizona US of A newcomer. He says yes, he's the king, and we really don't know why the change honestly, but for the new promoters, they want change and want it all cohesive. So
Mhm.
Richie is a promoter. He did renew. He seems to be very happy
We love
with the
Richie.
new promoters.
Richie's a great
So yeah,
promoter.
his
He's a
his
fabulous promoter.
his pageant's coming up April the 1st at Cobalt. So if anybody wants to compete for that. Speaking of pageant changes, the Entertainer of the Year pageant, the Mr. Division, announced that they're changing the Mr. contest to be a closed competition, and they will be announcing a lineup of new Mr. prelims for Mr. EOI Jericho Habib. He has worked to secure. So if you're unfamiliar, before it was an open contest, anybody could show up in Louisville for Mr. EOY. It's now a closed pageant for them.
Hmm.
So hopefully they get more contestants with that.
I don't think they will.
No.
I don't think they will. I know why they did it, but I don't think they will. And this is no disrespect to the system. But when you've opened the system for so long, contestants are saying, why am I putting together a package to compete in this preliminary and then redo another one to go to nationals when I could just put all my money to getting ready for nationals now? And then for them to have a person who walked through the door 3 seasons in a row win. So as a
Well,
promoter, you feel insulted that you're spending your money to get a franchise, and then they have someone who just walks in that could have been a potential contestant.
let me ask you this question as two competitors getting ready for a national pageant. Do you guys like it that they have preliminaries to qualify for the national, or do you like it that it's open?
I like a preliminary. I like a preliminary. I like a preliminary because for me, when I'm getting ready for a competition, I do like to have some type of help with getting my package together.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Well, I will say it's not more so the package, it's the transportation and then lodging and a team getting that together. I don't mind getting like my clothing and makeup and a dresser and things like that. But when it comes down to it, let me phrase that. Let me take it back. For myself, I have to worry about a dresser, a makeup artist, someone who knows how to put me in and out of things, someone who I'm literally comfortable with because I can be very much a diva at times, nonetheless. So that having not to worry about transportation and lodging it's a great takeaway when you have a promoter who one has a contract and they have to be upheld to that contract, and two, okay, that's one thing I don't have to worry about. That's already taken care of. I have my way to get there. Let me put my best foot forward within my garments and talent so I don't have to worry about that. So it's a gift and a curse.
It is.
Now I get where in some instances it is better to have a promoter, but then in some instances it's not better as a factor of some promoters don't always follow through or have the coins to follow through with what they're supposed to be doing. When then it's left up to that contestant. Do you have it to foot that bill and pay whatever it is out of your pocket to get you and your team to your national system?
Well, can I add to that real quick? My
Mhm.
philosophy has always been this: if I can't afford to compete, I don't go. What I do is I do a preliminary. I put together my package. I pay for everything. If my promoter is able to help me with assisting in any type of way of making money, because it doesn't have to be you write a check and give it to me. If you can put me on shows to raise my own money, if you can help me find avenues to get certain things to help with costs, be great. Whatever you help me to recoup, that's my helping thing. So if
Mhm.
I spent, let's say I spent somewhere around $5,000 to get my package together. And then my promoter turns around and says, okay, well, here's $800 to put towards your talent. Okay, well, my talent's already paid for, so now this is $800 going back in my pocket because you donated it to the talent, but the talent's already taken care of. You're like, okay, well, what does your formal wear look like? This is what my formal wear looks like. Well, what do you need for your formal wear? Probably, I probably need some new shoes, a new tie, white shirt. Here, take this $200 and get those things. Bam. It's not always give me money. Sometimes it's okay, I need to find an avenue so that I can pay for X, Y, and Z. My promoter's like, okay, cool. We're going to put together a benefit show. Or I talk to a friend of mine who owns a bar, see if we can get you on a show there so you can raise the money. It's not always give me money, but help me get to the money.
But I still look at it as for some systems they have a criteria for their promoters. Some systems don't, to where as though it's literally an open contest, and on that day, oh, Bob may show up to do Miss StreamYard. Bob
Mm-hmm.
may show up to do Mr. StreamYard. My bad, Bob, wherever you are. I apologize. Although it may be Bob, because we do got Bob the Drag Queen, so you never know. It's a gift and a curse when it comes to each system. Each system will make their rules as a fact that whether it's going to be open or closed.
Well, speaking of a pageant, still, a new national pageant was announced today from Manny Vega in San Antonio, Texas. The National MX pageant was announced, and this is what the statement read. Um, so excited today. I've been blessed to travel for work the past few months, and while I was in Wisconsin, I was honored to judge pageants that I enjoyed very much. While I was judging, I realized there are so many talented individuals who love to compete in these types of pageants, but they can't actually compete in them without altering their stage presence for their appearance. I believe there are many individuals who would love to participate in these types of pageants, but do not need to be conformed to any particular gender or box, which in return made me want to create a national platform for them so that they can continue to be successful and happy with what they are sharing. So today I am announcing that I have created the National MX pageant. The goal of National MX is to create a national platform for individuals who do not identify with a particular gender. This pageant will be open to all entertainers from any state. There will be 4 categories that will be featured and judged: creative presentation, talent, runway fashion, and on-stage question and answer. The event will be in July 2023 and held in San Antonio, Texas. So, what do you guys think?
I have a question. It's
I
probably
may
gonna
have an
sound
answer. I don't know.
it probably gonna sound insensitive, but I do have a question. Based off of what I just read, does that mean that you're going to have every contestant competing against each other, and the pretense is that I am male presenting, and I could be competing against and with someone who is female presenting, even though we both don't identify as male or female? Am I right to assume that's what that says?
I don't. I'm for me. I think it's a factor of with someone who is non-binary. I look at it as a factor of when they hit the stage. For instance, formal wear. It may be either a gown or a pantsuit.
Mm-hmm.
And I have the same questions as a factor of what is, like, say, formal wear going to look like. Is it going to be a pantsuit that's formal, not just a tuxedo, but it could even be a feminine tuxedo or be a gender neutral tuxedo. It may be a gown, but it can be a masculine feeling gown. So it's like I'm confused in that aspect of it. But so as someone who is non-binary but presents female on stage, I'm like, okay, good luck to my siblings.
For
But they're
me, the
not, they
question
don't have a
becomes,
gender, so I just
Ha-
say good luck to my siblings.
let me ask you this, Bianca, as somebody who identifies as non-binary. What do you think about this? Do you think we need a national pageant for MX who don't identify with a particular gender?
Yes, because that's what they want. I present a female on stage. You may have other non-binary individuals who present male on stage,
Mhm.
and then they would do a Mr. Pageant. Others would do a female, a female figure pageant. I get there is a market for it, and I know we've had a guest on a few months ago who wanted this in Arizona. So
Mhm.
there is a market for it.
Well, I guess
I'll just say good luck to all of the individuals who may compete come next year, and that's pretty much it for me.
Well, my question becomes: are we saying that there's one winner, or are we saying two winners? That's why I was posing it as: does that mean I'm competing against everybody, or I'm competing against a certain group? Because when you say this is a MX competition, that means anybody can compete, no matter what you present. My question becomes: does that mean there's only one winner? And if that's one winner,
It
that
would only
means
be MX would only be one winner, and it would be
Mhm.
someone who doesn't have a gender. Their
right.
gender would be neutral. So on the stage, their attire should all be neutral.
But you
You
get
shouldn't be
you
able to look at them and say, "Hey, they present female," or "Hey, they present male." If it's formal wear, it should be a gender neutral formal wear.
Yeah,
but
so here in Arizona, we have a MX division for our Pride system,
mhm.
and there was only one winner. So their title is MX Phoenix Pride. So I would think that this one would be the National MX or MX National, something like that. Although I will say a lot of questions will be answered. It also said in the statement, as we get closer to the end of the year, Manny will be releasing a handbook that will cover all the details of the pageant.
That part.
Um, so there'll know more details on that.
Okay.
Hold on, Crystal. I'm also looking at it as when it comes to a handbook will have a description or a category breakdown of A, B, and C, like like a Mr. pageant was, a Femme pageant does, an at-large pageant does. Each category will be a description of what each judge should be looking for.
Hmm.
But I think where the confusion is going to be is, even though you are non-binary, what if you wanted to come out male, like in a male traditional tuxedo, and then
But
somebody else who's non-binary decides to come out in the same outfit that Billy Porter wore, the tuxedo gown, and then the third comes out in a full-length gown? How do we judge all three of these equally when the
But see,
thought is,
this is where the distinction would come in. If you, some people would say if you're going to wear a gown, then you should be doing a Miss pageant. Some people would say if you're going to wear a tuxedo, you should be doing a Mr. pageant.
but who's to say
The
that you
Miss
can't wear the
would
tuxedo dress
be
for the Miss?
wearing a tuxedo top and then a gown at the bottom. That would be gender neutral to me. Nonetheless, we'll see what
We'll see.
this evolves into come 2023 to
Right.
include to have everybody be inclusive and wanting to have a mixed title as a national system.
Yeah, I think it'll be successful. I think there are a lot of individuals who are MX. So good luck to Manny. And finally, in our drag news, the Boulet brothers have announced a new season called the Boulet Brothers Dragula Titans. Now, for people that are unfamiliar, haven't read this, this is their spin-off of All Stars. So that's what this is going to be. It's going to debut a 2 episode premiere on Tuesday, October the 25th. They will, so it will be 10 episodes starring drag icons from the show's previous seasons. They will compete in a grand championship of drag artistry and physical challenges for a $100,000 grand prize, along with the headlining spot on an upcoming world tour and the first ever Dragula Titans crown and title. So that is the Dragula's edition of All Stars. Anybody watch Dragula? I'm not particularly a fan of that type of drag, but I enjoy some of it.
Go ahead,
Can
Mirage.
us, can us, okay, so I'm going to say some things that are kind of insensitive. I apologize ahead of time.
Okay.
You know how you hear people say, if you don't like how something is being ran, make your own lane, make your own, do your own. If you don't like this pageant, don't like that pageant, why don't you create one for people? We hear it all the time. The problem that I have with this show is this. This show was supposed to be an outlet for people who wanted to do Drag Race, but their aesthetic would not be accepted at Drag Race. So this avenue was built. The problem is you're not going to get the same respect and notoriety as a girl who did Drag Race. You'll get, unless you are the winner. Let's just be real. Unless you are the winner, you don't get no notoriety. To the point where one of the girls who actually competed on Drag Race, Jay Julie, went on and competed at a season of Dragula, and she still did not get the notoriety she would have thought she would have.
Mm-hmm.
My problem becomes this: the fan base and the fandom of Drag Race is so big that
Now,
even now, right
now,
now, that even though you have established a new avenue for drag entertainers, you're still not going to get the same fandom. You know,
now.
I'm glad you keep inserting it. You know the points. You know exactly when to hit it. So I've seen Dragula. I've watched 2 seasons. I respect Dragula. I like the fact that Dragula has had a winner that was a male presenting contestant.
Mm-hmm.
But I still feel that no matter what Dragula does, they're not going to get the respect that they should get.
Now, let's be clear. When within any avenue or any start of anything new, nothing new starts off the it thing from the jump.
Mm-hmm.
Drag Race, honestly, when BB won, I've been watching BB, Tyra, and the other girls from literally BB was the first winner of Drag Race. How many of the season 1 girls of Drag Race do a lot of people remember? Drag Race wasn't that popular in the beginning, and when I say now, look at what Ru has built Drag Race into. Everything has to start, from somewhere.
Well, besides BB, yeah.
I don't say it again.
I said besides BB, there were 2 other people that everybody knew: Angina and Nina Flowers. I'm sorry, and Pork Chop. So technically, there's 3 other people that people were following.
But even with Tyra's season, what I'm saying is, when you go back to those first 3 or 4 seasons of Drag Race, when they had the mucked up lighting, when the this, and this weren't always hitting. Go back to the first and come into literally Drag Race now. Everybody wants to be Drag Race. Everybody loves Drag Race girls. A, B, and C. What I'm saying is, everything has to start somewhere. Even national titles, this mixed pageant has to start somewhere. Give it 10, 15, 20 years. It may be possibly the it pageant to go to 4 non-binary individuals. This show you guys are talking about, I don't know the show. I think it's Dragula or something of that nature. It's starting out rough now. Give it a good 5, 10, 15 years. It could be the next Drag Race per se.
They're going into the 5th year.
Yeah, so they have already had 5 seasons.
This is the 5th season now.
This is just their all-star
season.
This
is their all-star season.
Yeah.
Well, maybe All Stars will be the kickoff to where as though everybody will know who it is. I just look at everything as it's gonna it starts out. Everything has to start out somewhere.
No, I agree. Everything has to start out, but the big issue of it is because when Drag Race started, it started with a known face. Right. Not everybody knows of the Bordello brothers. Not everybody knows of them. Right. Versus RuPaul. I didn't find out about Dragula until season 3. And that's when I decided to sit back and research
these national pageants. A lot of these national pageant owners weren't male leads. A lot of the female pageants weren't female figures who were doing pageants. The systems have to start somewhere. I'll say give them maybe another 5, 10 years and see where it progresses to.
That is true to a certain degree. I do feel like there has been some pageants that have just started, but because of who the people are who started them, have gotten them to pass. Like King and Queen. King and Queen this is their 3rd year, but the owner is a former of all the Big 5. They got notoriety for it. They got a lot of notoriety, so a lot of people are competing for it. And this is their 3rd year.
But then you also have to look at when it comes to, besides take out the notoriety, the prize package, the prestige, the way a national owner is treating their representatives. That all has to be taken into account.
Yeah, going back into the King and Queen, I don't think a lot of people are competing as they should. I think that Rashawn is a great promoter, and I think he offers a great thing, but he's only pulling in 2 or 3 contestants a year.
Well, not for this last year. For this last year, there were 7 for Miss and 5 for Mr. 5 or 6 for Mr.
I
Yeah,
must
because
not. I must
Yeah,
not
I didn't
recall
realize it was
that.
that many either. I thought it was
yeah,
maybe
the
five. I don't
the
know.
first year there was only one Mister and Miss. That was Michael Valentine and Venus. Oh, it's gonna kill me that I can't remember her last name. The
I
second
think it's Venus
year,
nine. I think it's
yeah,
Venus nine.
the second year the winners were his last name is Debute, Vincent Debute, and his
Hmm.
queen was
Gabrielle.
Gabrielle Sherrington.
Hmm.
Now we have this year where the following year where we had Giselle Bobby Royale and
Quentin Tajor, the Bling King. It's
Yeah.
Quentin
right.
Tajor.
No, Giselle's king was someone else.
No, Giselle's king is Quentin Tajor. They're reigning now.
Yeah, they're currently reigning.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. They're current.
Giselle, yeah. They
I'm
won in
sorry.
December.
So, but my point that I'm making is, from the jump, everybody wanted to see how that first year was. The second
Mhm.
year, they got two more contestants for each division. This last year, the numbers are going up, and it's going to keep going up because people are seeing that Rashad is being a man of his word. He's taking care of his contestants. They're getting the money that we're supposed to get, their prize package, their trips. They get paid for national walks, and their walks are being, sponsored. People are seeing that. I guarantee you, next year I see double digits for both Mister and Miss. I guarantee
What do you
that.
mean this year, come December? And I think it's in Louisiana. I think it's
So
in New
yeah,
Orleans.
going
I think
back, last year had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 misters and 4 misses.
So it's 4 instead of 5. Okay. But my
But
point that I'm
this,
making was it was more than
the
yeah, no,
previous years.
definitely.
Nonetheless,
This
we'll see
year,
how December goes.
this year I think is going to be very, very good. There's going
I
to
do
be a
too.
lot of heavy hitters going to Louisiana this year to compete for that.
I know of
Um,
one,
yeah, I know of a few as
Chevelle Boom
well.
Boom Brooks.
Uh, yeah, there's another one. I don't know whether they've announced it or not, but they're going to have some heavy hitters this year to the point that I'm thinking of even going to see that.
Just to
I
see the
don't know.
competition.
I don't know how Louisiana is in December because I'm from Arizona. I don't want to deal with cold, but it could be a nice trip. All right, let's move on to our
I was going to say
next topic.
Louisiana, New Orleans is always going to be a nice trip.
So there's been a lot of pageants going on. So let's go into our next segment, pageant talk.
I'm gonna get that crowd. Let's move around. Let's take our bodies to. I'm gonna get that crowd. Arms, legs, snatch. I'm gonna get that crowd. Get the crown on, girl. Get the crown on, girl. Get the crown on, girl. I'm gonna get that crowd. Snatch. It's mine. Snatch. It's mine. Snatch. It's mine. Snatch. It's mine.
I got to update that video.
Yeah, because I want to know why my talent video wasn't used. I'm just saying.
Okay, I'm gonna update that for next time. So, anyways, there's been a lot of pageants that have taken place in the last 2 weeks since we have been gone, including Texas US of A, Miss Gay Texas US of A. That happened about 2 weeks ago. They had 22 contestants that took place or that competed for.
Yes.
The pageant. Here is the top 13. Usually it's a top 12. How it became a 13, I think somebody tied somewhere.
Yeah, there was a tie between fourth and fifth contestant.
And here are the results. Dion Summers became Miss Gay Texas US of A. Mulan Alexander, first alternate. Just Lexi, second alternate. Adicia Lush and Jennifer Lauren rounding off the top 5. Here is Dion Summers. Dion had been competing for quite a while. I'm a fan of Dion's. I'm glad that she finally um, won the pageant. But yeah, Texas, 22 competitors. That's more than what they had at the next pageant we're going to talk about, Continental.
Mm.
Congratulations, Dion, and good luck at nationals.
So let's talk about Continental. That was one of the big ones
Continentals.
as they consider one of the big fours, as they say. Continental Elite had 17 contestants.
Can I
Layla
say that's a
LaRue.
beautiful picture of her? That is a beautiful picture of her.
Yasmin is a beautiful queen. Layla LaRue became the winner of Miss Continental Elite.
Congratulations, Layla.
Right. The Mr. Division had 18. Savion Sinatra Sanchez became Mr. Continental.
Congratulations,
Congratulations.
Savion. My baby mama.
Continental Plus, Rachel
Baby.
Meredith became
Baby.
the
Congratulations,
winner.
Rachel.
That's how you win a title. That's how you win a title.
So let's pause there before we get on to Miss, and let's look at that crowning moment for Miss Continental Plus, and then we'll talk about it.
Continental Plus for 2023, Rachel Meredith. She doesn't want to deal with me for a year. She's heard from Travi, you know. Rachel Meredith. Well, if she can't complete, then I'll do the job, okay? There she is, Rachel Meredith.
Baby, there's a lot to unpack in that video. Continental has had some of the best crownings. I mean, Stasa Sanchez, Giselle falling down on the floor. I think Sasha ran around everybody.
She ran around and threw the dress up.
Right. And now Rachel Meredith ran off the stage.
I'm sorry, can I say this? Did anybody happen to, after the crowning, go onto Neandre Bonet's page after they crowned the at-large? He did this thing where he said, just as a congratulations to her and to make her smile, type in, why do you think she ran off the stage?
Yeah,
The comments. Oh, the comments that the people were saying was so hilarious. Somebody said she smelled her biscuits burning. Somebody had said she ran to go get her bobby pins because she didn't trust that they were going to pin the crown right. Somebody said she saw that the hot donut sign came on at Winchell's. They were going in, and I couldn't do nothing but laugh. But we knew it was in solidarity. Oh, I hate English. Solidarity and congratulating her. But it was you owe it to yourself to go on Neandre's page when he posted that and read the comments. It will brighten your day because people their mouths.
I heard that she ran out the actual door of the theater.
Yes. She ran all the way out. They had to bring her back in the building.
And that her dress broke, which is what was taking her long enough to come back, you know. I think I love it. I love crownings like that. I mean, it's their moment. I'm sure she was full of emotion. I don't think anybody really expects to win, and for her, winning on her first try, so I can only imagine what she was going through with that.
Watching, I was gonna say, lastly, watching that firsthand, literally as crowning is happening, and then I heard her question and response, like maybe a good 2 or 3 days later. Her running off made sense as a factor of, I think it was the shock and surprise of her being Miss Continental Plus on that
Yeah.
night. And I'm like, okay, now it makes sense because sometimes you don't think it could be you, and then oh my goodness, it's you. So it's like
Mhm.
either run, cry, scream, or ah, you never know.
So my
Yeah.
next time I win,
Congratulations, Rachel.
if I win Continental, America, whatever system, they announce my name, I gotta go above and beyond what they do. So I probably do a back handspring, or just knit a sweater right there on the stage. I don't know,
I'll
something.
do all of that when I get into my dress. When I get into my hotel room, I'm having me a double shot. Actually, I'm having me a triple shot. I'll probably cry because I can't cry on stage because they're gonna make my mascara and my liner run. I'm gonna
No,
be
and in my family we have a practice. After crowning, we pack my stuff up and we go to the nearest food place. No
Okay.
questions asked. So I literally congratulate myself with the fattest, biggest cheeseburger,
definitely.
sub, something, because I
Oh,
have been
see, for
starving.
me, if I go out to eat, I'm literally going out to eat like I'm still on stage. I am keeping my crown on, my gown on, baby. I might have to take a train. We gonna order us a limo,
Baby,
an Excel Uber. Why? I
my,
need some this hair between the hair and the gown. And mm-mm.
my
I'm gonna
crown
be
gonna be
packed
like
already.
this.
By the time crowning comes, I'll be packed. So I literally just gotta walk out the door, take a few photos, and sign a contract.
I'm walking through the
Waffle House,
restaurant with my
Rod
everything.
Crystal, Waffle House me,
You
Waffle
better know
House
it.
me.
Many a Waffle House crownings have happened.
That part.
So Miss Continental had 20
Three.
23 contestants,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
and Sunny Delight was the winner of that one. Here is your new Continental Court: Layla LaRue, Rachel Meredith, Sunny Delight, and Savion Sanchez there with good old Mr. Flint. So that is your reigning court. Now, the Continental pageantry system didn't go
Yes.
off without any controversy. For Miss Continental Plus, Shavonna Brooks posted this one talking about she received second runner up 1 year and got $410. The next year received third runner up and got $430. She wasn't sure of the placement just yet, but only received a check for $200. That's less than a booking fee, and she expressed her displeasure to Mr. Flint, saying, "You cannot expect professional female impersonators to return by insulting them like this." Now, the Continental pageantry system does
Yeah.
not have a handbook. They do not tell you what they're going to win. They do not tell you what's in the envelope. Um, so you really don't know. So what do you guys think? Do you think she has a case to be upset?
Yes. 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 Let's just cut the ball because I gotta go to my station. Let's just cut the ball. At the end of the day, we know that Continental is considered one of the big four. But being part of the big four is supposed to be a big grand package with it. When you have a big grand package for the winner, we all assume that the runner ups, the first, second, third, fourth, when you make that big five, that there's a certain level of reward you get for making that group. When you have a contestant who's competed and their prize for getting third alternate is the entry fee that the promoter paid for them to compete,
Is that an insult?
To me, it would be, because I'm like, at the end of the day, as a male lead, I cannot speak as a female presenting performer. I'll leave that up to Bianca. As a male presenting lead, my packages start off at around $6,000-$7,000. So if I make the top 5 and you tell me, oh, as my second runner up, I'm gonna give you $200. Really? Really?
Now,
$200?
now let me ask you this: is this something she should have asked ahead of time during registration?
Now, ding, ding, ding. My whole thing is when you're interviewing for a job and everything in the gay world, the LGBT community, the alphabet gang, or whatever have you, all of this is a business. When you go into registration, when you go into interview, whether you're a female figure or a male lead, these are the questions that should be asked upon interview, upon registration, and upon interview. It's been rumored that no one really knows what the envelope may entail at the end of the night. If you're not asking those questions, in some senses, you can't be upset. When you go into a job interview in your everyday life, you're going to ask that manager or whoever's interviewing you, what's my base salary? What's my salary at the end of the day? Whether it's a dollar amount for the hour or a week or a month, you're going to ask these questions. I'm looking at it as everybody just want the title, but sometimes the title can come back to slap you in the face as a factor of you made the 5, but you only got a check for $200 for making the 5. Had that been a conversation had at registration or even interview, maybe it could have been a different outcome and you would have known what was going to be. Now, you can ask the question and they can answer it, or they can choose not to answer it. But the question still would have been asked. When you go do Mr. Gay America next month, I guarantee you're going to ask, well, A,
I
B, and
already
C, and the
asked.
breakdown of
I already asked.
what the prize package is. Not just going in and having uncertainty of Barbara may get $1,000 for first runner up. Marisol may get 2,000 or 3,000 as the winner. The second alt or the third alt may not get anything. Y'all just may get an empty envelope. And that goes for the male leads and the female figures. So it's like you got to ask these questions. It's
I
like
agree.
you going to, lastly, it's like you going to a booking at a regular club, at a nightclub. They've booked you to do 2 numbers. You don't ask them what your lope is going to be at the end of the night. They give you $50 for your 2 numbers as a professional male lead or female entertainer, a female figure or female entertainer, female impersonator, whatever have you. If you don't ask these questions upon being booked, then you have no reason to be
It's over there.
upset when they hand you whatever they hand you in your envelope. That's the sad part.
Yeah, they're open.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
No.
in the future, those questions will be asked and answered, and then paid accordingly.
Supposedly, it was announced that everybody's going to get the same amount now moving forward. I think it was $5,000 moving forward. Everybody's going to get that.
As it, and I can see a $5,000 across all 4 divisions.
Yeah.
Can I say this, and then I gotta go to my post.
Yes.
A lot of people don't ask the question in registration because they don't want to put the idea in the promoter's head or the owner's head that all they are about is the money. Because they feel that when they start expressing, okay, so what do we get if we win? If we get first alternate, second alternate, when it becomes all about money, the promoter thinks you're not here for the job. You're just here for the money and the title, prestige. So some people won't voice that. The same way some people don't voice about asking, well, who are your judges? Because they're afraid that when you start asking certain questions, the backlash that's going to come is that, oh, he's going to be problematic, or she's going to be problematic, or they're going to be problematic because they're asking too many questions that don't need to be answered right now, or questions they feel they don't want to answer. Because if I'm standing in front of you as the owner of a competition and I say to you, okay, so I need to understand, if I win, how much is my prize package and what's the breakdown? If I get first alternate, I know that I'm on standby because if the winner gets dethroned, you're going to call me to come into play. But what do I get prior to that? What will I get if I then take the reins as the winner now that he stepped down, and so on and so forth down the list of that 5? When we start asking these questions and normalizing it, the transparency becomes more obvious. But because people are, and I don't want to speak for everybody, but there are a good majority of people who are afraid that they're going to rock the boat by asking these questions, so they don't. So we seem complacent, and then the owners feel they can get away with whatever they want to give us. I think Bianca spoke about this the last time. If we get together and say, hey, this is what we want, this is the change we want, and stay in unity with it, we will see the change that we want. But if we don't open our mouths and say anything, we're not going to get change.
Let me just leave it this in this aspect when it comes to Continental. I remember last year, people saying that the place was too tight. The contestants had to get dressed in the alleyway or whatever have you. And I can look at with this year, Jim has made some changes as to find a bigger venue for the contestants as well as the patrons who are actually paying the 60, 65, 70, if I'm not mistaken. I think
right.
the midnight was $80 or something. I get in some instances there are changes being made gradually or year to year. So if you speak on it, I can see things being changed. Now, like I said previously, when it comes to the contestants, Elite had 17. Mr. had like 20 or so, like 18 to like 15 to 20 contestants for Mr. The girls and the boys are coming out to these systems, and this is literally one night only for many of the continental nights. It was literally one night only. So it's gonna come up to the contestants, the promoters, and the patrons saying A, B, and C, and hopefully things will change.
Well, I have to say adieu because my head boss is coming around the corner and I got to get
All
to
right.
my post.
All right.
But
We thank you for coming on, Mirage. We will see you next week.
We'll see you next week.
So yeah, here's a comment from Morris. Problematic or not, I am asking. I have to spend too much to compete, not to have my questions and concerns addressed. I can already see Continental would never be for me. I will say that a lot of people praised that the Mr. competition was the best one out of all 4 of them this year. They said that the gentleman who competed for Mr. really put on a good show. But we will move on. Speaking about the Continental, they had Mr. and Miss Black Continental this past weekend, correct?
Yes. Classique was Black Continental Classique was Saturday night, and the winners were Corey Iman and Mercedes Black, which is on the left, and then Christian Starr and Amaya D. Glamazon won Miss on the right. So congratulations to the Black Continental pageantry system for having a great weekend of pageantry.
Yes, definitely. Congratulations to them. We wish them a great reign. Moving on, speaking about pageantries, USA Unlimited made an announcement about a dethroning or a release. They removed Kira Kennedy Chanel, has been removed from the position of Miss USA Unlimited at Large 2022. As with proper business standards, we have elected to pay Kira out of the remainder of her prize package that she would have received. To wish her well in all her future endeavors going forward, and truly appreciate of her time as Miss USA Unlimited at Large. The first runner-up took over the position. Christina Christian took over that position as of September the 8th. Now, this was a very sticky situation. Did you read Kira's response to that?
wasn't her response prior to her dethroning this. It's a gift and occurs as a fact of you dethrone somebody but you pay them out. So it's like you being fired from a job, but they still give you a severance pay. So I'm so confused.
So they said that they removed, they didn't dethrone. But let me read on what Kira, a little bit of what Kira had to say, because she had a lot to say um, on their and again, this is what Kira had to say um, about it. She has been asked to step down as Miss USA Unlimited at large due to her promoter soliciting her for sex for money and her declining the offer, which she quotes, "Everyone knows I like chocolate." Nancy Newton was her promoter. She said, "It's rude, very discriminatory for you only to view us black men as chocolate, as if we are not human beings. Not only that, but there is still problems with money. For some reason, they feel in order for us to get paid, we must have a fundraiser or order for us to get any type of payment. Meanwhile, they are using us to get contestants who are paying, and we are making absolutely nothing at all. Then they want us to travel to all the divisions on our own dime. Meanwhile, they bragged about making $8 million a year from their furniture company." Speaking about the owner, Bug Davidson. Um, so yeah, that was part of Kira's response. If you want to read the whole thing, it is on Kira's page. You could see that. Um, that's mind-boggling to me, but hopefully they all get their situation taken care of.
Yeah,
US,
hopefully there's
US,
some resolution.
USA Unlimited has also been going through a lot of changes as they go through the rebranding. Yeah, Crystal says the whole thing is a mess. Definitely is, but as my co-host Bianca always says, you gotta have contracts, right?
Besides that, it's a factor of there's always like 3 or 4 or 5 sides to each story. So hopefully,
Mhm.
as this story develops, the truth will come out. We don't know whose truth is truth. We'll see how this all develops.
Right. And we'll definitely keep you in the loop. Mr. Gay America had their contestant drawing. That pageant is coming up April the 4th through the 6th in Las Vegas, Nevada. Um,
October the 4th
oh,
through the
what
6th.
what did I say?
You said April.
Oh, October 4th through the 6th in Las Vegas, down at the Orleans. They did have their contestant drawing. 24 people or 24 male leads
Delegate.
have um, have registered or qualified. Here is here is your contestant list. So what you see 1 through 12 will be group number one. They will be doing presentation as well as red carpet on October the 4th. The 13 through 24, which is group two, they will be doing talent. And then on the 5th, they're going to swap. And then on the 6th is going to be final night, where they will announce a top 10 and recompete in talent, formal wear. And then last year they did do a top 5 who answered a question.
On the 3rd, they'll all 24 of them will do interview. Interview is
Yeah,
going to be closed to the public, so that would just be the contestants and the judges and the Gay America team. Um, I will just say congratulations to all of the all of the delegates that are competing. To our own Mirage Cruz, we wish you the best of luck. Bring home that stash and medallion back to Drag Talk. Good luck.
right. Definitely. Um, so yeah, good luck to all of them. And finally, you got something going on this weekend. You want to talk about that?
Yes, please. I'll be doing a show in New York. So if anyone is in New York, please come see us. We will be at the Wow Cafe Theater. You have myself, a Drag Talk avid watcher, which is Miss Jennifer Love. She's hosting for a wonderful cause. We also have Empress Vizcaya. We have our male lead, Neil Hall Richards, as well as Divinity Banks. We're all going to be on show on next Saturday, September 24th in NYC. I will post the event link if anybody wants to attend. Even if you can't attend, we're raising funds for a wonderful cause. If you can't attend, please buy a ticket. We'd appreciate it greatly.
Yeah, definitely. We'll post it on Drag Confidential as well, and on the Drag Talk page, which you can like right now to follow us and all our shenanigans that we do here on the show. If you would like to be a panelist, we're looking for new panelists all the time, or a special guest. Go ahead and hit us up on Drag Confidential or on our Drag Talk page. We will post the link on there. But any final words?
Thank you all for joining us tonight. All 13 of you. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Crystal. Thank you, Morris. Thank you all for joining us tonight. We're back, so stay tuned for more shenanigans. I was going to say another show, but I didn't think so. Thank you so much for joining us.
That's it. All right.
A shit
Thank
show
you
of shenanigans, but that don't work too well. Have a great night. Thank you all for joining us.
We'll talk to you all next week.